Hey, it's Ryan Speltz, and welcome to the REConnect Podcast, where we drill down to your core purpose. And today I have the pleasure of having Lorena Barona on, and she is a fantastic agent. And I want to pass it over to her to kind of introduce herself and let us know what's going on in the market today.
Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate. Well, my name is Lorena. I am a sales and operations manager and a real estate professional as well in the area. I've been in real estate for a little bit over the 5-6 years, and my background comes from hospitality industry. So for us, the service was always the first thing, or client comes first was our first sentence to work with. So yeah, the market for us here in Sarasota, it's pretty strong, to be honest. And our inventory is still very low. There's a lot of new construction. So we are very busy, and a lot of people coming from up north. So it's very, very strong for now.
Yeah, it kind of seems that way all over Florida. So it's definitely a little bit of a crazy market when with everything going on. So kind of the purpose of the whole episode is to help you get to a little bit more of your core purpose and to help you introduce yourself as that within that purpose. So beforehand, you had mentioned that your core purpose, if you were asked to describe it in one sentence, you said, "I am a problem solver. Tell me where it hurts and I make it go away." So where does that, I know you mentioned the customer service aspect and leading with the customer, where does all of that kind of come from outside of that customer service background?
I think it comes a little bit from, I want to say, from how I was raised or where I was raised. For sure, when you are in South America, you have limited resources, so you have to fight for what you want. And for the most part, you don't have a safety net, I want to say. So when you kind of move around different countries, you can you realize all the potential that you have, all the resources that you can get. And some people are immersed in those countries, and they kind of don't realize all the resources and all the things that you have around. When I said that I am a problem solver, I think that it comes from from my background. We were always looking to that next level, next option, or try to find a solution for what you were embracing. I've told a couple of times that when you are kind of living in South America, sometimes you feel in Hunger Games, and you wake up one day and you have one thing to just, you have to deal with it. So when I started working in hospitality, and maybe was all the time that constant helping others and being that problem solver, making their stay a little bit more comfortable, a little bit better, more memorable. And I relate a lot hospitality with real estate because it's kind of the same. You have a journey, and you kind of help them in a way to make it more memorable or more enjoyable, and try to for them to let you know where it hurts, so you can make it go away. And in that way, you are pretty much you've been told where does it bother, or what do they need in order to provide their needs.
We got some dogs barking, so I'm gonna cut it, and we'll cut me in here in a second when they start barking. But
it's okay.
It's funny. The cleaner was here, so she's on her way out the door, so they're going nuts a little bit. But yeah, so what you're saying there with the aspect of the hospitality piece and bringing that in, I know in the real estate market, a lot of times companies will advertise like, that they can help, they'll get you into a home, or they'll find your perfect home. And really for us, it's more so, for those of us that are connected to the purpose, like you mentioned, it's more about helping them and guiding them. And really, we want to focus on making our clients be the superhero, right? I'd much rather be Robin than Batman. I want to make you Batman as my client. And I think I think you're right on that path with that. And I think that's an awesome way to approach it. It really changes the view on our industry, right? Because a lot of times clients will be looking at realtors as a dime a dozen, and being able to really lead with that heart first of that you do, that separates you pretty quickly.
100%. What when I'm with my team and we're on coaching calls or anything like that, what we always say is chase the purpose, chase what they need. Just don't put them on an auto search and make them feel that you are just a number. At the end of the day, it's one of the highest investments, and it will take some time to make that decision. And once you know the why or the real need or the real purpose of what are you doing, one, you will be able to find that home. And two, you will be able to help them instead of just sending them, oh, here's the list of what the things that you can see also in Zillow. So one of our main purpose for us specifically is always looking for what they need throughout like a presentation or throughout a meeting with a person, and try to find that why the need and what is specifically the one, and what are the non-negotiables, what are the ones that you are okay if you don't have them, but it will be nice if you have them. So we're always looking into that. And even me as a sales manager for the team, I when I have my calls with the team, I'm not looking also only into numbers, but also sometimes those conversations so those conversations led into something more personal. Okay, why you are in the industry, why you are here, why you are trying to help them, why it's so important to get them in a house. So it comes both up. I kind of have both ways and both experience, which is pretty cool as well. And I'm very grateful to have that opportunity because sometimes you work with only with buyers and sellers, which you have one experience. But when you help agents to truly unleash that potential and trying to teach them that the money is not where is more important, but trying to make them understand that once you know the why, it's more, you feel better because you are actually helping someone to achieve a huge milestone that a lot of people, they have it as a milestone, buying a house or selling the house and moving to another country or moving to another place.
Yeah, and being able to connect to that is so huge, and that's really what REConnect is all about, is bringing that into our everyday life, right? Like there a computer can send you a list of questions for you to answer, and then it can take it in and the algorithm can analyze it. We can upload it to ChatGPT and it'll send you and set you up on a drip. Like there's too much technology for that to be the way that it's done. And for a long time, you know, the industry hasn't really changed since the internet kind of changed the whole thing, right? Like the industry is still focused on that. Let me find you a house with all of the things that you need, when I would say that probably 8 times out of 10, the client's probably sending you a listing from Zillow and going, I want to see this house, right?
Yeah, which is for the most part, when you kind of interact with the person and get to know that person and know what are they looking at. For the most part, I always said, if I send you a list, you are probably saw 90% of the homes in the morning or in the afternoon before or after I send the list. And you are the one that is going to choose where are you going to live, or you are the one that is going to choose where is going to be the place that you're going to put your family in. But my job is more looking towards your needs and not sending you just 30, 40, 50 homes that you probably saw, but maybe looking for another option. Maybe you didn't, your needs is, you want a specific needs or specific things that probably we're not gonna find in a specific area. But in my job is actually to go above and beyond and see if any other areas I can go and find those needs and see if you probably like that area, that you probably didn't even think about it, but kind of give them more options. And that's when the problem solver comes. I kind of have that idea of one thing is selling real estate or help them buy real estate. But when you become a problem solver or an integrator, you start learning the purpose or the why of people would like to buy a house or sell the house. And once you understand that purpose, you open a whole new whole other options that actually you are helping them and guide them not only to the process of buying a house, but also guiding to the process of Maybe they don't want to be in Florida anymore. Maybe they want to come to Sarasota instead of Clearwater, and kind of open up the options and the opportunities. And that's what the journey is more interesting or more important for them, because you are taking the time to lead them and to truly be aware of what are they looking at and what are the options, and not just here's the list.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, it's so important to be able to connect with that person, because they are a person. They're not, like we talked about, like the computer can solve the math problem, right? The person isn't a math problem. The person has feelings and emotions and reasons for wanting to be in that area or a different area. And when you can really connect with it, and I can tell that you do, that allows you to really kind of advise them that something maybe somebody else wouldn't advise them. And so I think, that's a great value proposition for you as a real estate agent to be able to present that way, is like, this is what I do. I'm more than just the search for the home. In your connection with the agents as the manager piece, how do your agents change or transform as a result of what you give them as a sales manager?
So we have a very good concept, including our team leader as well. Our main idea or our main purpose is working on the why more than I need to get a contract in. So for the most part, when we jump on a calls, we kind of discuss how are they feeling, what did they do this week. What is the main purpose, or what is the main thing that is going to happen throughout the week? Could be personal, could be professional. The agents have the ability to go in a personal level or a professional level. So I'm not only learning or not only drilling into the numbers of them, like, hey, you told me that you're going to have 4 calls and that you're going to have 1 transaction a month. So where is your transaction? But kind of know first their why. And at the same time, while we are working on our agents' why, we're also telling them the same purpose of you are getting our support and you are getting our knowledge and experience of we want to find your why is the same way that we want you to find the client's why, by asking more questions. That's one of the things that we always said. Don't assume, ask more questions, talk less, and let them tell you what anything, or let them talk, and you just ask more questions specifically of what they are looking for. Another thing that we always suggest is learn about the disc personalities and different personalities that you are dealing with. We are all different, and for the most part, we do not act the same way. Especially now with technology and different generations, we are not on the same track. So instead of trying to find a house for the person, or instead of try to sell the house for that specific person, know their why and their intentions behind it. It's more important. And right after that, you also have to know who you are interacting with. Is a person, yes, but what type of personality does it have? Because if it's a type of personality that he just wants the numbers, well, clearly you just have to give them the numbers. So that's our main idea to help the agents trying to find the why. And always tell them, like, the transaction will come along. If you don't know your client, if you don't know who you are talking to, and if you don't know their needs, the chances are that they are going to have 2 or 3, 4 realtors next to them trying to find that need. And it's the same when you are a kid and you are 3 years old. When there is a no, when you want something, you are going to keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going until you get your yes. And it's exactly the same for a buyer. When they want something, they are going to act like a 3-year-old. So until you become that person that is going to give them that, then they are going to choose you. Until then, they are going to keep bouncing from one place to another until they get their need met. And probably the need is unrealistic. But this is our job, to kind of teach them and guide them to the process and say, hey, this is not what you're looking for, but let me explain you why, and not just say yes or no without knowing why they need that.
What techniques do you use with your agents to help them discover that why? Because I know a lot of people, and especially parents, and I've heard this from quite a few people that I've talked to about, where we're asking, cutting down the layers and going a little deeper, and a lot of people will throw out, well, my kids are my why. Okay. How do you help them get past that being the why? Because while the kids may be the why, there's something deeper there, because you could go work a salaried position and make sure your kids are taken care of, right? So why real estate as the vehicle? So how do you help them kind of taper through all of that?
One of the main things that we do, or I particularly do, is we meet every week. So at the beginning, when we have conversations every week, and of course they know that they can call me anytime. And I always tell them, I am your speed dial. I'm on a speed dial, and you can call me anytime. I'm here to answer any and all questions, regardless if it's personal or professional. So we do have an open door policy. So they have that freedom to just be there. Every morning we connect in a group first, and we kind of ask, like, what did they do throughout the weekend? What are your thoughts? What are your feelings? And on my one-on-ones, what I try to connect is I ask them, how are they? And based on how they ask me or how they feel, if they go towards the personal level or the professional level, I go myself that way. So if they start talking about personal level, then I will go that way. Maybe they didn't want to talk about business today, and it's okay. I'm okay with that. Maybe they don't want to talk about numbers today. Maybe they have a really bad week and they don't want to talk about that. So once I connect, I think in a personal level, even though I know their why, I also start knowing their personality and the reason behind that why. So we had a few agents that we still tease them, and they probably know that. One was going to work in a post office, and another one, his main why is he doesn't want to be a bartender anymore. And we tease them like, hey, if you don't do a transaction, you're gonna go back to bartender. We know that that's not their main why, but throughout the connection and through the open door policy, and knowing that they can call me anytime, knowing that each call for each weekly call is not going to be only the numbers. How many calls did you do? How many text messages did you send? Why you're not doing this? Let's pull the numbers. Not everyone has that ability, and not everyone works the same way. So before we actually onboard an agent, we go through a DISC personality test. And the first 2 or 3 meetings, we kind of know each other. I mean, try to find each other, like the connection and what are the likes and dislikes. And yes, we know the why, but for the most part, that there's a lot of things behind that why.
Yeah, it's very easy to, like I said, to just say my kids and move on, right? And a lot of people will kind of allow you to exit at that point. But I can tell that you're one that finds a way to push past that a little bit and say, okay, well, let's find something that you can really stick to, that you can put on the wall and go, yep, that's it. So this is my favorite question, and I always try to leave it till closer to the end, because we've done some exploring with what you're talking about and what you do on a daily basis. What's one of the largest global challenges that you wish to resolve and work on?
That is actually a really good question. Maybe adoption. Maybe adoption and kids. There is so many kids that are without parents that they can benefit out of the potential of many countries, and kind of open up a little bit that barrier of adopting kids from another part of the country and vice versa, and kind of make it more a little bit universal, instead of just making it national or things, but give people the opportunity to help other kids that they don't have parents, and that they probably have a lot of potential, but they don't have the resources to do so.
That's a very, very large global issue for sure.
It is.
No, I think that's really strong. And I think you can work that into, the purpose of your business as well. And I'm, thinking of quite a few ways off the top of my head, and I'm excited to explore those with you. But yeah, that's a heavy one for sure. And that conversation can go a lot of different ways, but yeah, that's a big one. So I'm happy to know you, and happy that that's something that you got there. So we talked a little bit about, your purpose is being that problem solver. And we talked about where that comes from on a daily basis. If you're looking at one thing, what's the drive? What's the thing that fires you up when you wake up in the morning?
Become a better person, become a better version of myself, at least 1% every day, even if it's 0.5%. I know that every time I wake up, no matter what I do, at the end of the day, when I go through my day, I know that I achieved something that made me a better person, or helps me to become that version of me that I want to be.
Awesome. That's a great way to end it. I appreciate your time today, Lorena, and your purpose is a strong one, and I think you even developed a couple other ways that you can take it, and I appreciate your time and working through this with me.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity as well.